Okay, y'all, today I have got two super simple recipes for y'all that are so good. I'm Tammy, and welcome to Tales from an Empty Nest. Okay, so if you've never made corn casserole, I know you've at least heard of corn casserole. So, the first thing that we're going to do is dump our box of jiffy cornbread mix in our bowl, and you can go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. Then we're going to melt that one stick of butter. And I go ahead and add the butter in first because it's so hot. I don't want it to like cook those eggs when you add them. So just go ahead and mix your butter in there and then dump your 1 can of cream corn. And then you're going to use 1 can of regular corn, but make sure that you drain the regular corn before you put it in here. And once you get that added in there, I like to try to mix it up kind of in between adding everything because that Jiffy cornbread mix tends to clump up and get lumps in it, or it comes with lumps in it, I should say. So just make sure that you're mixing this really good. And then you're going to add in your 2 eggs because your butter's cooled down by this point, y'all. So it's fine. Go ahead and add your eggs and then get those busted up and mixed around in there real good because you also don't want a big blob of egg, when you make your cornbread either. So just get that mixed up really good. And then the last thing that we're going to add to this is going to be our 1 cup of sour cream. And y'all, I've seen other recipes where people use like cream cheese in this. I've never used cream cheese in mine. If y'all have ever used cream cheese, let me know in the comments because I'm kind of curious as to how that would taste. But when I was mixing this up, I got to thinking that what would really be good in this, y'all, is if you put one of those cans of like the diced green chilies. I bet that would be so good in here. Give it a little extra something, almost like a little Mexican cornbread kind of. I don't know, y'all, but it sounds good to me. And I think that I'm going to try that next time I make this. Let me know too if any of y'all have ever tried adding the green chilies to this, because I bet it is really good, y'all. But anyway, so once you get everything mixed up really good, you're going to go ahead and grease your little pan. Now, I normally do this in an 8x8 pan, but my son borrowed it to make fudge the other night, y'all, at his house, and he forgot to bring it back. And that's the only 8x8 pan I have. So, anyway, we're going to use this one. And I think this is maybe a 7x11 or something. It's still a little small pan. And then, of course, at this point, I realized I'd never added salt and pepper to this. So, and that's all I add to this as far as seasoning, y'all, just a little bit of salt and pepper. But just make sure if you do it like this and you do it after the fact, just make sure that you get it mixed up real good because you don't want, one little part that has a ton of salt and pepper and other parts that don't have any. So just get it mixed up really good. And then I put mine, oh, well, look at there. Just drop the spoon down in there. But anyway, I put mine on a cookie sheet because it was awful close to the top and I wasn't real sure if it was going to puff up enough that it was going to go over. And I didn't want to have to clean that out of the bottom of my oven. So I just sat it on a cookie sheet. And you're just going to pop this in the oven, y'all, for about 45 minutes. Actually, mine went a little bit closer to an hour. But just put it in there, start at about 45 minutes, and just watch it because you just want to get it done and get it, a little browned on the top. But y'all, this stuff is so dang good. It's a little bit sweet because of the Jiffy cornbread mix, and then you got the sweet corn in there also, but it's not like cakey sweet. I don't know. If you've never had this, y'all, it's really good. And it's really, it's soft It's not dry, like a cake would be, or, like a regular cake or something, or like a regular thing of cornbread. But it puts a good little crust around the outside. I know y'all saw it, but of course I dumped it in there where you can't see it. But it's really good, y'all. I'm gonna have to get some right here so I can taste it for y'all. Because I don't want y'all to eat anything that don't taste good. So I just scooped me up a little bowl there and had me a taste, and it was really good, y'all. This stuff is good. You could just eat it for a snack if you want to. But we like to have this when we do our little family get togethers every year. But now you can add it to your list too if you don't have it already. Now, y'all, this recipe was almost so easy I didn't want to even put it in here. But I thought, you know what? If we like it, maybe y'all would like it too. Three ingredients. You're going to preheat your oven to 350, and then you're going to spray whatever size pan for however many of these things you're going to make. And I just made like 8 of them because my son wanted them and he was going to stop by after work and come get them. So I just made a few that he can take, home to his house and share with his friends. But you just put these in your little 9 by 13 pan or whatever. I think you put it on a cookie sheet if you want to, y'all, because it really don't matter. But you're just going to put these in here. And also, it does not matter. These were still a little tad frozen. You can cook them frozen because they come in the freezer section if you didn't know where they were in the store. But you can cook them from frozen. I had these. I let them sit out in the refrigerator for a little while before I cooked them. So they were mostly thawed out. But that'll just be, just adjust your time because you just pretty much just warming them through. So you're going to add on top of these little yam patties just a little bit of brown sugar. Just enough. It looks like a whole lot, y'all, but that's not. You just kind of put a little thin coating of brown sugar on top of it. And then you're going to take your butter, and I just cut mine, into a couple of little pieces, just thin and, little thin pieces, but enough, for however many I'm making. And then you're just going to take them little pieces of butter and sit them right on top of your brown sugar. And that way, when that butter melts, it's going to melt right on down into that brown sugar and it's going to go all down into those little yam patties, y'all. Now, I don't know how y'all's kids were or your grandkids. My son would not eat a sweet potato to save his life. Do you hear me? Hated them, could not stand them. But these he would eat. Now, it's probably because they was covered in butter and sugar, and they do taste like a dessert. But y'all, they are delicious. You just stick these things in the oven for about 30 minutes, and then they come out just ooey gooey. They make almost like a little syrup in the bottom of the pan, but they are sweet and just I don't know what it is, y'all, but honey, they are so sweet. Kind of like if you make like a sweet potato casserole, you put the brown sugar, the butter, and all that. But these things just melt in your mouth. If you haven't ever made these, you've got to give them a try because they are so delicious. Now, I know these recipes were super, super simple, but I just wanted to share them with y'all because they were so easy and they're so delicious. So make sure you come back on Friday. I have another really, really yummy recipe for y'all that day.